Hello, people. Welcome to Main Event Boxing Talk. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing well, Nathan. Good to see you by the fireplace here.
Yeah, and you as well. Right, let's kick
Well, it's
things
certainly been a busy week in boxing.
Oh, yeah. And isn't it nice to do this and forget about what's going on in the world at the minute? It's great, isn't it?
Sure is. I'd rather all the fighting be in the ring than in a war.
Oh, hell yeah. Right, let's kick things off with last week's performance from Katie Taylor. What did you make of this performance?
Well, I watched the fight pretty closely, and Serrano was moving forward for most of the fight, but I thought Katie actually won. I thought she landed. I think she took the first 3 rounds. A lot of people gave it to Amanda because she was moving forward, but
Yeah.
I thought Katie was actually more effective boxing, and then the middle round started to shift more towards Serrano, and then going out the last few rounds, Katie picked it up, and I think she outscored her. So it was close. I mean, it was a very close fight, but I think her boxing was better.
A lot of people were picking Serrano to win that. Even I was. I thought, it's in America.
I did too.
She's not going to get the decision.
I think it was a fair decision. I think it was close. I think you can make a case for Serrano, but I just looked at the amount of punches landed. The thing that I don't like about Katie is that she eats too many punches.
Yeah.
She's willing to sit in there. And she didn't throw any uppercuts. She could have thrown some uppercuts there that could have disturbed Serrano. I think she was uppercut shy for fear of getting countered with a right hook. But, her own left hook was scoring a lot. That's my opinion. What about you? What did you think?
Yeah. Keep talking.
Are you there? Yeah, I was saying that's my opinion. And I don't know if Nathan agrees with me or not. He got up, so maybe he doesn't. But it's a tough one to call because both fighters put everything out on the line. I would like to see a rematch. I guess the general public would like to see a rematch, and who knows what'll happen. But Katie did come to New York. She did fight, in New York. There was a great turnout of fans on both sides. And I thought it was a great one. So they really did justice to women's boxing. What did you think?
I thought it was a good performance, and I'm glad the women's boxing was the main event because, it deserved it. Women's boxing's come a long way in the last 5 years. It really has.
Yeah, it was a war, wasn't it? It was a war. Plus, it's come a long way. And, shouts out to my friend Jill Diamond, who started with the WBC ranking women years ago with the former president, Jose Suleiman. That's how that got started. She mentioned to Jose when she met him, how come you don't have women boxing? And he said to her, well, go ahead. You start it. And she did, which was great. Anyway, what do you think? What are your predictions, Nathan, for...
Oh, there was another fight on this card.
Who else was on it? I didn't...
Jesse Vargas against Liam Smith.
Okay.
Liam Smith grinds him down in a tough fight in the 10th round. I was impressed with him, He showed me, Vargas had never really fought that weight before. He hadn't fought for about 2 years.
Yeah, I think it came down to really Vargas. I think Liam wanted it more. I think that's what it came down to.
Vargas has had better days, hasn't he? And Liam's got a couple more years left, if he can get a touch. But there's nobody in the 154 division he can beat for those belts that he's good enough to beat.
Not right now, no.
No, there's no vacant belts. If there was a vacant belt.
Spence will probably move up to maybe,
the division.
Right, but there's talk about Canelo and Spence at 164,
Yeah.
But he has to get by Bud. I mean, you're right. So you're right. It should, if there's a vacant belt, perhaps. But even the other champion, who was it who just won in the WBA? He beat the guy from Romania. We talked about him the last time. I think even he would give him a real hard time.
Spakan, some guy from Azerbaijan or something, wasn't it? No, he's Russian.
Yeah, but the guy who won was, I think, from Lithuania.
I can't remember his name, to be honest. But I know
Stenosis.
It's something weird, isn't it? Let me have a look.
Stenosis.
Welterweight.
No, it was Stenosis.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that was 154. Wasn't that 150? Was that welterweight or 150? I don't remember.
Let me double check.
But he would give him a hard time.
Yeah,
but he's in the...
Whatever his name is. Terrible with these Eastern European names. Let me have a look again, who the current welterweight.
Yeah, well, anyway, you were right in saying what you said. I don't see anybody
Stanios
up there right now. Stanios, yes, Stanios. I said stenosis. I'm thinking of cardiology, arterial stenosis. Whatever. I'm a little punchy. I've been up since early this morning and went fishing yesterday.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that was a, I don't know if I would say it was a great fight. It was a tough fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was what it was. What do you think about Fury, announcing his retirement? You think he's going to stick with it?
I think it's a little bit premature, to be honest.
I think he may be having pressure from his family. Hey, look, if you have 3 fights with Deontay Wilder and get knocked down 4 times in those fights by his right hand, that's going to shake you up a bit. You're not
really going to want to fight
your brain
again, really, are you? I mean, after the Dillian White fight, I don't blame him, but it'd be nice to see him have one more fight against the Joshua Usyk win and then walk away. But I guess he's doing it now while he can. There's nothing wrong with that. His place is cemented.
Right.
But
did you hear that?
What did you say? Did I hear what?
That Andrade, Bubu Andrade was injured?
No, I didn't hear
postponed. Yeah, he's got a bad injury. He's got a shoulder injury.
Right.
So his fight has been postponed. He had it was a shoulder injury suffered in training.
This all sounds a bit convenient to me. It really does.
In what way? In what way?
Well, Zach Parker would have been his hardest fight because of the size of Zach Parker, how big he is and everything.
Yeah, it would have been a tough fight, but I think he could have won.
Yeah, he would have won.
I mean, what's his alternative right now? I mean, Canelo won't fight. I mean, he can't get a fight with Canelo. I mean, he doesn't want any part of Charlo.
Before I swerve to this, there was something else. The WBC belt, the belt that Fury will vacate, there'll be a final eliminator between Joseph Parker and what's his name? And Joe Joyce. They're trying to say.
Oh, Joe Joyce, that's a good one.
And then the winner would fight Wilder, supposedly. Like Wilder's in a place to be fighting for a title when he hasn't won a fight in 2 years,
Well, I think Deontay has some ego rebuilding to do if he wants to fight again. Although I think he could beat either one of those guys if he lands his right hand. He can take him out.
He needs a warm-up fight first, for me.
And Hrgovic just pulled out of a fight too.
Yeah, his dad sadly passed away, so he pulled out of the IBF fight.
Yeah, I mean, he's a dark horse in that whole division as well. I mean, he's a bull in the heavyweight division. I mean, if Deontay came back against him, that could be a hard fight. But, Deontay has that one-punch equalizer. And he did do a bit better against Fury this last time, so...
I just think
I don't know.
Careful who he picks for his next couple of opponents. Then he can take it dangerous later on. He's had three tough fights.
But looking at the one you mentioned here, Dubois and Parker, who do you give the edge
to? I'd say Parker, just based on.
You were going to say Dubois though.
Sorry, yeah, Parker. I picked Parker to win because he's a little bit more. If he can box Joseph Parker, because Parker can be not Parker. Joyce can be out.
Dubois.
Sorry, Joyce.
I'm sorry, Joyce. Yeah.
Joyce can be out.
Well, yeah, but Joyce, I agree with you that Parker's a better boxer, but I think Joyce can really put some heat on him.
Oh, definitely.
Can walk him down and jab and pound that right hand into him. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Joyce wins this one.
Before we get to the Canelo fight, there was
I think
a few other things I wanted to bring up.
Well, there was Bryan and Dubois.
Yeah, there's more to that. There's a little bit more.
The Larry Holmes joke.
Yeah. Larry Holmes has been teaching him how to use the jab.
What is it?
Obviously, and the fact that Bryan's already got a half-decent jab, and Dubois not very good at defending jabs, as we've seen.
Well, that's true, but don't forget the way Larry threw the jab. He threw it from different angles. He would throw it up. He would have it here and throw it up. He would also twist it and lean in. He would also keep it out there and hook off the jab. He did a lot off the jab. And it wasn't just the jab. He had the combinations with the jab. He had the jab and the right uppercut. He had the hook off the jab. He could hook and then jab. But he had that leaning in power jab where he would throw it from there and come up too. So he really, Muhammad Ali taught him a lot with the jab. 5 years. So that's 5 years of training with Muhammad Ali's jab,
I still don't
learning
think
how to deal with Muhammad Ali's jab itself.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah. What about Fury? I was just saying, we were talking about Bryan and the
I'll tell you the twist. They've got a venue now. It's in the casino in Miami, the Casino Miami, Miami, Florida. And basically there's a bit of a twist here. If Daniel Dubois can't get a permit, there will be, they've got an opponent lined up for him. A guy called...
Why couldn't he get a permit?
Yeah, there's a guy...
But why wouldn't he get a permit? He's not a criminal.
No, remember what happened last time with Manuel Charr, where they struggled to get the visa and everything properly ready for it. They might
Wasn't that during COVID though?
Yeah, but they might try the tactics again. But they have an opponent lined up just in case. This guy... Well, you can't see that, can you? No, you can't see
it. Back your screen up a little bit.
A guy called Decree Scott. And his record is 7 wins. 7 wins, right? And he's fighting Jonathan Goodry, the guy that Trevor Bryan last fought. So if Daniel Dubois can't fight, then Decree Scott will be the opponent, supposedly, at 7-0.
Boxer.
Yeah. So it's DACA.
Oh no, really?
E, yeah. So yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you, but
yeah, it's a bit embarrassing, isn't it?
Well, that's his amateur. Hold on, I'm looking at
7-0.
Else. Well,
not
yeah, he better look. The main thing every fighter has to worry about is just this is a mistake a lot of guys make. So if this happens, this guy comes in 7-0 and they don't train properly, they can have a hard time. You always have to train like, you're going into the fight of your life, no matter who you're facing, because that's when you get hurt, when you let your guard down. And
Trevor
you think,
Bryan,
I could just walk through this fight. And that's
apparently walking around at 230 now, 235 pounds, when he was 260. So he's in a better.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, he's better. And I think we could see an upset. I'm not saying he'll win, but it might go on for a good 8 or 9 rounds, before Dubois managed to stop him. But it all depends on, is Larry Holmes going to be in the corner of the fight, or is he just his trainer, one of his trainers?
I don't know. I don't know if this was, I know they were together for a while, but listen, I've seen Trevor Bryan fight. He's no slouch, man.
No, but
if he gets really serious and gets rid of the sparring partner attitude, the sparring partner mindset, this guy can make some noise.
I mean, I've seen him when
he's big, he's strong.
When he last fought, when he won the interim belt, he beat a cruiserweight
against
BJ Flores. And then the way he dealt with Trevor Bryan, even though Trevor Bryan was washed, it was still a good performance, you know.
Well, Trevor Bryan is who we're talking about, right?
Yeah, I mean,
You're talking about the guy he beat. He
beat Stiverne.
Stiverne, the former champion, who was washed up, right?
Which
so
was a good win.
He did real well with that. So, yeah. All right.
The rest of the card is
carry
on, yeah.
Yeah. So what did you think of Shakur Stevenson?
I was impressed.
Valdez?
But, you know, he won 2 titles there.
That guy, if he just keeps training and stays serious, he's going to be something, because you could see his frame, how much bigger he looked in his frame. Stop picking.
Sorry.
You're on camera, dude.
Yeah.
So, so the thing is that he is so slick right now. If he keeps training and keeps working and works up more on his leverage, he's going to be something to deal with as he goes up in weight, because he can go up in weight. He's young. You know, it's going to be something to watch him. Come back. Come back. Come back. Don't leave me here alone.
So I'm just looking at his...
So he did a good job, though, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, 12th round. He knocked him down in the 6th round. You know, he could have stopped it. Now he's got 2 belts at that weight,
Yeah. Did you see Valdez's face?
Yeah.
At the end of the fight? He was tattooed all over his face.
It looked terrible.
It was like on fire. I know, and Valdez is a very tough guy, you know, but he didn't have the dimensions, the boxing dimensions, you know, that he needed. He didn't have, you know, the formula to beat him. He couldn't execute anything, you know, to his advantage. He caught him a couple of times, but not enough to do anything.
The problem with Valdez is, you know, he was quite a little bit older than Stevenson. Stevenson's, you know, a lot fresher, isn't he?
Yeah, and Valdez was shop worn. He's had some very tough fights. His last fight, you know, against Burchell hit hard, and the one, I think there was one after that he had, didn't he? I don't remember.
Yeah.
If he had another fight after that, I think he did. Oscar Valdez. Yeah, let's see. Let me see. I think he had one other fight after that. He had Canciano, which was a decision, which was a tough fight. That Brazilian, I think it was Brazilian. It was a tough fight for him and went all the way. So he's been in a bunch of wars. Anyway, you know, we got the big one coming up, right?
Yeah.
Who you looking at in that fight? I mean, Bivol is playing very humble here. What do you think is going to happen?
I think Canelo will stop him in the 10th round. I just don't think Bivol's, you know, as good in the same league as him. So I watched him when he last fought against Craig Richards, and Craig Richards is a British level kind of fighter. Nothing special, and he looked pretty average in it. So I don't have a lot of hope for Bivol in this fight.
How long ago was that? How long ago?
I think that was a year ago. Let me have a look.
Let's see. He's got 19 fights and no losses. He had a lot of knockouts earlier in his career. When he started stepping up, like against Pascal, it was a decision. Against Barrera, he TKO'd him. Smith was a decision. Castillo was a decision. He's had decisions recently as he's went up in class.
Yeah.
Solimov was a decision. So, and these guys, you know, they're strong fighters. A lot of them. They were strong fighters.
But they're not
strong punchers. Joe Smith certainly was.
World-class fighters. The people he's beaten recently, they're not world-class fighters. You know, like Solimov, Craig Richards, which was a year ago, you know, that Lenin Castillo, I mean, it doesn't look good. I mean, Lenin Castillo.
Solimov wasn't a year ago. It was December.
Yeah, that wasn't a good win.
But you're right. It was over a year ago. It's almost a year and a half ago, actually.
But the alarming thing is, a couple of years before Smith fought Lenin, because Smith beat Lenin in 2 rounds, and it took Bivol 12 rounds to beat him. So to me, that kind of tells me the level he's kind of at. He's getting better, but he's still learning, isn't he? He's only 23 or whatever.
I wonder if he's having hand problems. I wonder if he's having hand problems because maybe he's not throwing as hard as he used to. Because he used to put guys to sleep. Because since Sullivan Barrera, he's had nothing but decisions. Like Chilemba decision, Pascal decision, Smith.
Apparently Bivol's 31. So for me,
decision.
He's not going to get much better. I don't think. This is it. This is his moment.
That's true. So I think Canelo's thing is Bivol moves well, and Canelo's not, his knee is not that good. He doesn't move as well, but his upper body movement is really good.
Yeah.
His avoiding of punches is really good. So he's got to take his jab away, and he's got to break him down and slow him down in the body. That's going to be his challenge. He didn't have a good time doing that when he fought the Crusher.
Oh no, he's still...
Crusher slowed down, and then he was able to take him out on the ropes. Okay, so if Bivol's in good shape and is pumping the jab, it may be a little more difficult. But if it's going to be a stoppage, it'll be a late stoppage.
There's a 4-inch height advantage for Bivol. So what he needs to do in the first or second round, he needs to take that height away. As soon as he takes the height away, he'll win.
Well, Sergey was what? Sergey
6'2"
was what? 6'3", 6'2", 6'3". Yeah. So it's going to be what he can do with the jab that's going to determine this fight. If Bivol can make it a really good fight, and
if he avoids Bivol's big shots and swerves,
because if he could score more from the outside, he could get it.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting. I think he's fresher than Kovalev was.
Yeah, what I find is
I think he's fresher than Kovalev. Can you hear me?
Yeah. When can you hear me? When Canelo fights.
And Kovalev is back in training.
Yeah, he'll be fighting in next month, I think, in Miami or something. But talking about the way he fights tall, doesn't he? Because he's small. He kind of fights, he overextends the arm, and he'll, like when he fought Callum Smith, he ducks down and then he'll throw the punch up to hit you and then move away and, work on the outside, hit the body and then aim for the over top right hand, right in the head,
Well,
and he'll probably throw a few.
He's susceptible to the uppercut because Billy Joel uppercut. Yeah, when he's wide like that, if Bivol can throw the uppercut, lean back and time that hook, he could get in there. But that's taking a risk too. But also what's happening soon is that after this, Peterviev is fighting Smith on June 18th.
Yeah, I think
so.
Smith, problem with Smith, he's easy to hit. He's not very fast. He's got a lot of power, but he doesn't have a great deal of skill. He's pretty limited. And I think he'll get stopped in that fight, to be honest. But
if Canelo takes Bivol early, then there's a case for him going against Peterviev, depending on what Peterviev does with Smith.
I think he can hurt Bivol.
But I don't think he wants any part of that heat.
I think he can do the same thing that he did to Callum Smith. That's what's going to happen, the same thing what he did to Callum Smith. Because that was brutal. How Callum Smith was standing on his feet after 12 rounds is a testament to how good a fighter he is, I think, when I look at it really. And it proves how good Canelo is and how tough. So you can take punches like that for 12 rounds. You're tough.
I expected more from Callum Smith, but it was said that his elbow got injured in the fight from getting hit in the elbows.
But
Rocky Marciano.
Yeah, but he would have learned a lot from that loss anyway. You always learn from your losses. Or you should.
I agree. I agree, my friend. But I don't think he wants any of the heat that Peterviev can bring.
Oh, no. I mean, would you blame me? I think he's taken a risk having this fight anyway.
It is. It's a calculated risk, though. It's a great calculated risk is what it is. And we'll have to see what, Bivol brings here to the table. Now, Zhang has a new opponent, coming in with Scott Alexander at a last-minute replacement for Hrgovic.
I take it this isn't an eliminator.
We'll see.
This is just
well, it was supposed to be an IBF eliminator,
but
this is going to be just a fight, Yeah, Zhang kind of tires towards the end, doesn't he? Usually peters out a little bit. But maybe Zhang should fight Mike Tyson. Oh man, this game that we're in is pretty wild, isn't it?
Let me look at this card to see what
he's got. A 16-4-2, man. He's 16-4-2 record.
I'm just looking.
I've seen him fight before. It's not going to be pretty.
Oh, he lost to Carlos Negron and Travis. Yeah, that doesn't look too good. And he's ranked.
We do, it doesn't look, but we do have a rematch coming up soon, which is a good card. We have Charlo versus Castano. Isn't that a rematch?
Yeah, I picked Castano to win.
Yeah, because it was a draw last time, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was a draw. And on that card, we have Boots Ennis versus Clayton, which should be a good fight. That's an eliminator for the IBF welterweight championship.
Okay, that should be a good fight.
We'll see what Jamel Charlo does this time.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
They want. Crawford wants Spence in the worst way. And Floyd Mayweather's fighting against Don Moore. Do you believe that?
Who's this guy? He's fighting on
the 14th. That's kind of crazy. Well, on this card, we have Silva versus Machado in an exhibition. And Badu Jack is facing Haney, Egyptian Hurricane, Atillo, 16-4.
Is that on the undercard of the Mayweather thing?
Don Moore.
Is that the
Mayweather Don Moore? Undercard? It's like, this is...
I thought Mayweather did.
And I've watched Floyd in training.
I thought Floyd didn't have anything to do with him anymore.
With who?
With Mayweather. I didn't think Mayweather promoted him. Just looking at it.
Well, you mean who's promoting this? I don't know.
Oh, he's fighting in Arab Emirates.
They're coming from Bihur Al Arab Jumari. Hell, I don't know.
This is at cruiserweight.
This is let's see.
It's at cruiserweight, yeah.
It's crazy. Dangerous Don Moore. What was he? MMA? I don't know much about.
I'm not even sure. Let me have a look. Dangerous Don. Don Moore. Let me have a look on Wikipedia.
Don Moore boxer. Let's see. Don Moore boxing record. No, this can't be the same guy. 18-1.
No.
Dangerous Don Moore. Yeah, he's 5'10", 74-inch reach. He's been inactive since 2016. He got knocked out his last two fights. No, he's won. Wait a minute. He's won his last two fights. 18-1 with 12 KOs. I speak too soon. What weight is he?
We're running out of time, I'm afraid. So I think I'm just looking where the countdown is.
No, not one-on-one. There's no time limit on one-on-one.
Yeah, there is, yeah. I think it says on here.
No.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, 8 minutes and 17 seconds.
Where's that? Whereabouts is that? I can't
anyway, I see it up here on my side. I see 8 minutes and 11 seconds left.
Okay. Yeah, we can keep.
I don't know why you're running out of time.
Yes. Yeah, Mayweather.
It doesn't say. It doesn't say his weight.
Oh, yeah, another thing I heard.
It doesn't say how much he weighs.
Mike Tyson was going to fight Jake Paul.
No, there's not. Mike Tyson said, "I'm not doing that." He'll kill him in one round.
He'll lose anyway.
He gets close to him, a body punch will take him out. He doesn't even have to hit him in the head. He hit him a couple of shots in the body. It's over.
What for Mike Tyson?
He was pulling punches with Roy Jones.
What for Jake Paul or Mike Tyson?
For Jake Paul, he'll hurt him bad.
He'll
hurt him bad if he could. He'd have to pull punches.
But if he lost, it would look really bad, wouldn't it? If Tyson lost the same way Holyfield, but the difference is obviously that Jake Paul's not a real fight. He's a good fighter, a novice, but
it wouldn't happen.
Too old anyway.
It wouldn't happen. Who? Mike Tyson?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's something else this weekend. There's a tournament.
He says it wouldn't. They'd have to give him a lot of money. He says it wouldn't be fair. He'll walk in there and just walk right over him.
It'd be the easiest money he ever did. He should do it, in my opinion. Make easy money while it's there.
He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to. Ask the guy who was on the plane with him if he wants to fight Mike Tyson. Did you see that video footage of this like guy really?
And then he just went bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, the guy was being so rude to him. And then he threw a bottle at him. And then what do you expect? You go into the lion's den and pull the lion's mane. After a while, the lion's going to turn around and go, boom. And the guy couldn't even press charges because the police said, you were in the wrong. As soon as you assaulted him and you didn't stop, he defended himself. But Mike was smart. He got off the plane.
Yeah. I'm going to stop recording, and then I'm going to give you a ring in a minute anyway.
All right, brother. Thank you. It was fun.
We'll be back next week.
Take care.
Okay, bye.